is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
Michael Wallace, it'll be another day of long lines at TSA security checkpoints at some airports. This frustrated traveler was heading from Atlanta to West Palm Beach, Florida.
It's an absolute nightmare. Never seen anything like this in my life.
Late last night, the House passed its own bill to fund the Department of Homeland Security for 60 days.
The yeas are 213 and the nays are 203. The resolution is adopted.
The House rejected the Senate's funding plan, which did not include money for immigration enforcement, and the Senate has left Washington for a 2-week recess. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the war with Iran will end in weeks, not months.
We're going to destroy their Navy, we're going to destroy their Air Force, and we are going to significantly destroy their missile launchers so they can never hide behind these things to get a nuclear weapon. We are achieving all those objectives. We are ahead of schedule on most of them, and we can achieve them without any ground troops, without any.
Rubio spoke as he left a G7 conference just outside Paris. President Trump has again extended the deadline for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, which he called the Strait of Trump, during a speech in Miami last night. At least 10 U.S. service members were injured in an Iranian strike. Correspondent James Waterhouse is with CBS's broadcast partner, the BBC.
U.S. personnel were injured after an Iranian missile and several drones hit a U.S. airbase in Saudi Arabia. Buildings were damaged, according to reports, as well as American refueling aircraft.
Sources tell CBS News 2 of the American troops were very seriously injured and 8 were seriously injured. More than 300 service members have been wounded in action since the war began. U.S. Central Command says most of them have returned to duty. Speaking in Florida, President Trump gave an update on the war with Iran and mentioned Cuba.
And we have been very, very successful. You know, when I went into Venezuela, I said, because I campaigned on the fact peace through strength, you wouldn't have to use it. I built this great military. I said, you'll never have to use it. But sometimes you have to use it. And Cuba's next, by the way. But pretend I didn't say that, please. Pretend I didn't say that. Please, please. Please, media, please disregard that statement. Thank you very much. Cuba's next.
Tiger Woods is free on bail after his DUI arrest in Jupiter, Florida yesterday. Martin County Sheriff John Budenseek says the golfer flipped his SUV after clipping a truck on a residential street.
Had there been somebody moving in the opposite direction, we would not be having a conversation saying there was no injuries. This could have been a lot worse.
Police say Woods passed a breathalyzer test but refused a urine test. They believe he was impaired by a medication or drug. He was also arrested for DUI in Florida back in 2017. This is CBS News.
Join Adriana Diaz and Kelly O'Grady for the perfect start to your weekend. Ease into your Saturday with CBS Saturday Morning on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here.
Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday, scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
CBS News travel editor Peter Greenberg has some tips for choosing who gets the window seat on your next flight.
No one ever wants to get stuck in the middle seat. Here's what I suggest. And it's quite simple. Flip a coin, and the winner gets the window seat. Then reserve both the window and the aisle seats, leaving that middle seat still available. If the plane isn't full, then you get the whole row and more space. But if the plane is full, you can count on the fact that whoever shows up with a boarding pass for that dreaded middle seat never wanted it in the first place. So you offer to sit next to each other so that that passenger, clearly delighted at his or her good fortune, gets the aisle. Peter Greenberg, CBS News.
Arctic sea ice dropped to its lowest winter levels ever recorded this year after several regions of the world broke heat records this month. That led to an early start to the ice melting season. Climatologists say that will leave less ice this summer to reflect sunlight, making the oceans even warmer later this year. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
A luxury vacation home where the only decision is pool time or beach time. Your own private indoor pool, a real movie theater, a kitchen big enough for everyone to cook together. Whether it's a deep water dock on the lake or a private path to the ocean, SWAC Vacation Rentals has the place where this summer's memories are made. And when you book direct, you skip the extra platform fees and you get the best price. Give yourself something better to look forward to this year. Let's be honest, you've earned it. Visit SWAC, SWACK Vacations.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Under a mainly clear sky overnight, we'll get down to 27 for an overnight low. It's going to be brisk and chilly Saturday with a partly sunny sky, high 44. And then pleasant on Sunday, sunshine and a few clouds, high back up to 60. For AccuWeather, I'm Brian Thompson, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Rob Fracks on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Begin today for a Saturday with your Pratt Pack on KDKA. Israel struck Iran's nuclear facilities hours after threatening to escalate and expand its campaign against Iran. Yesterday, Iran vowed to retaliate and struck a base in Saudi Arabia, wounding U.S. service members and damaging planes. A month into the war, however, there appears to be a breakthrough as Tehran agreed to allow humanitarian aid and agricultural shipments through the Strait of Hormuz. Accepting a request from the United Nations, the Iranian ambassador to the United Nations in Geneva said Iran agreed to facilitate and expedite such movement even as it endures strikes on its nuclear facilities. You heard Secretary of State Marco Rubio in that CBS Radio News report just moments ago. This thing is going to be over very soon, within the month, as he said. Not months, but within the month. They have sealed their fate. They had an opportunity after the initial strike months ago to simply shut it down, and they didn't. And they have continued with reckless abandon, lashing out at Arab states and obviously affecting members of our military. Our president is very confident, as is the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, as is Pete Hegseth. Our military will get an unconditional surrender from Iran. This will give America a chance to take pause and understand why military strength is so important. It's peace through strength. And I think this will also go a long way showing the rest of the world, especially these other countries, large or small, who continue to push back on our democracy and Constitution. But what this will do more than ever, it will give the people of Iran an opportunity to live in a much more sane environment, giving them an opportunity to actually find a way to take care of their family, to live a quality life, to build on a life that will be full of memories and rich history when they look back on it generations from now. This is a giant step into the future, and I commend our country, our military, the people in the administration of President Trump for understanding sometimes when you do certain things, there may be a few that disagree that can turn into the many. But in the end, it's about the many. It's not just about the people of Iran, who we really, I believe, the reason we are there, but more importantly, the world. Once we remove the ability for them to launch missiles around the world and take out possibly millions of lives, we are now going to be saving millions of lives, not just in the present, but for future generations. So all in all, when I look at what's happening with Epic Fury, yes, it is sad. War is nothing that anybody ever wants to have or achieve. But if it does happen, you want to win, especially when it comes to the price that is giving people their freedom. All right, now, I want to talk about Tiger Woods. You know, when I got home late last night, I was out doing a bunch of social media stuff, rather tired. And I thought, do I take some time and promote this or, get up on my social media soapbox, if you will, and just start pontificating about Tiger Woods and how he should know better. And I thought, nope, people know, he knows. I'm going to simply wait until I talk to my radio audience. So that's why I want to begin today. Look, I'm not going to point fingers. I'm not going to say anything other than he should know better. He's had multiple situations like this, and obviously he's had some ups and downs in his personal life. But who hasn't? That's why you never see me pile on anyone, because he without sin cast the first stone. I am not some tabloid journalist looking to, well, make waves by being a shock personality, meaning someone that throws something out there and hope that it sticks and basically benefit from someone's ill will. But as you heard that sheriff say moments ago, if there would have been a car coming in another direction, it could have been a whole lot worse. You know, Tiger Woods, when this happened years ago, damaged his leg to the point where he'll probably never, ever be able to walk 18 holes of golf without being in pain. And I understand medication. I understand why they prescribe it. I understand why there's a need for it. I have no idea what medication he is on. He's had multiple surgeries. He's not the only one. Many people have, and many people are on medication. But one of the things you have to understand in 2026, when you're under the influence of anything, you cannot get behind the wheel of an automobile. Now, Joe Q Public has to watch everything they do, especially if they need that vehicle to get to work. But when you're in a position that Tiger Woods is, and again, I'm not pointing fingers or blaming anyone. I'm simply saying to him, someone who has accomplished a lot, done a lot of wonderful things, has worked with a number of charities, is a good father. And for people I know that know him, you couldn't ask for a better friend. And he had a very challenging life. His father, a former Green Beret, from the time he was 2, 3, 4, it was all about golf. Any waking moment, a club was in his hand. He actually was on a talk show known as the Mike Douglas Show at 2 years old, showing off his golfing skills. So a child star, a prodigy, maybe the greatest golfer of all time, and he would have surpassed Jack Nicklaus's record of most majors if he would have taken a different path and wouldn't have suffered certain injuries. But all of that in the rearview mirror, the thing that nobody should ever see in their rearview mirror is someone speeding like he was yesterday. Look, you have money, you have resources. Tiger, you are loved. Please, moving forward, whether you're on medication or not, or whatever turns out, innocent until proven guilty, stop it. Stop it. And to everyone out there, let this be a lesson. If you're listening right now and maybe you understand, well, a little too close for comfort what I'm talking about, you can't. You cannot get behind the wheel of an automobile. You know, I hear people say all the time, well, back in the day, they would just escort you home. Well, do you ever think how many fatalities and crashes have been caused simply because of driving under the influence? Staggering. The majority. And, you know, I am a proponent of these driverless cars. And I think someday it will start to save lives if we ever get to that point. If they promote them just on that sole fact alone, it'll do a whole lot. Listen, one of the reasons why I always wanted to be a bar owner was because of the camaraderie. But I wanted a bar that people could walk up to right off their front porch, a community bar, because I never wanted to deal with the thought process of somebody getting overserved, going out into the night or whatever, and killing someone. But with these driverless automobiles, no one, when it does happen, and they will, should ever get behind the wheel after even one alcoholic beverage. Look, I'm not saying that I'm holier than thou or I'm preaching to the choir. I'm simply saying all of us have done stupid things when it comes to imbibing and getting behind the wheel. It's been 50 years for me, but I can tell you one thing. I would rather walk to a bar or get a designated driver, call Uber, get a taxi, because there are so many ways to do it other than getting behind the wheel of a car. And look, even if it wasn't alcohol, whatever it was, and whatever it turns out to be, and he may once again find a way to get around this. I don't know. But I do know this. No one at any time, let me repeat one more time and tell your children and grandchildren, should ever get behind the wheel of an automobile while under the influence. Thank God that didn't turn out worse. But hopefully this will be some sort of message to Tiger Woods. We need him. And I would definitely not like his story to end on a very tragic note. And yesterday could have been that note. Hey, as always, you can listen to us at 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA or on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. But you can also watch us online with our KDK video stream presented by Metropolitan Window Company. just go to KDKRadio.com and click on Watch KDK Radio Livestream, or now you can just go to our KDK Radio YouTube page to watch everything we are doing in the studio. And remember, NASCO Roofing Instant Access to our shows is just a click away. Email us at instantaccess@kdkradio.com. And if you know someone in your community who has done something extraordinary in the past year, nominate them now at kdkradio.com to be honored at this year's Larry's Hometown Heroes event. Your calls next with your Pratt Pack KDKA. Good morning.
Your source for the AccuWeather forecast. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
News Radio KDKA Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. Tiger Woods charged with driving under the influence after he rolled his SUV in a crash in Florida. No one was hurt. Elsewhere, yesterday, college basketball, Duke outlasted St. John's 80-75. They're headed to the Elite Eight, as is UConn, as they defeated Michigan State 67-63. Today, Iowa, Illinois, and Arizona and Purdue. Bucks a little after 4 at Citi Field in New York. You can hear it today against the Mets on 93.7 The Fan. Pens in Dallas, they dropped the puck at 5 in the Houston Open through 2 rounds. Your leader is Gary Woodland. He's a 13 under, good for a 3-shot lead. And the Riverhounds have a match tonight against Jacksonville. More sports at 937thefan.com.
Suffering from peripheral neuropathy? Learn how over 15,000 sufferers regained their comfort, mobility, and quality of life with Tri-State Neuropathy Center's successful treatment plan that is FDA cleared, non-invasive, and drug-free. Here's Sean Ritchie, DC, and Tri-State's founder about one of their many satisfied patients.
One thing I've learned about people that get numb with their neuropathy, they have balance issues, just like Bob from Gibsonia. His numbness got so bad, he started to have to shuffle and was starting to have some falls. After completing our FDA-cleared treatment program, he is doing so much better. In fact, he was at his friend's house and he was at the American Legions, and they couldn't believe the difference that they saw in him.
Tri-State Neuropathy Centers help Bob. Let them help you next. Call 724-940-9000 for a free consultation. That's 724-940-9000. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, the leader in treating peripheral neuropathy. Learn more at marydanston.com.
Hi, this is elder law attorney Carl Zachariah. Betty called me last week because her mother's in a nursing home and had given her $30,000 2 years ago. I told her that 5-year look back will not apply. We can get it fixed. Call Zachariah Brown at 724-942-6200 or visit PittsburghElderLaw.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
The 50,000-watt voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, here we go. Rob in Plum. Rob, you're on the air with your Pratt Pack. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Rob. How are you doing today?
I'm good, buddy. What's on your mind?
Well, what happened was I had a chance to go to California there and to see the prices here. And you know what? I was shocked, Rob, is the prices in California for food is almost the same prices we're paying here. It was absolutely shocking. We went to a lot of restaurants and things like that, and the food really wasn't that much more difference in price here than it was in California, and I was absolutely shocked at that. And the other thing I was shocked at is how our cities are being overtaxed here, and no one's talking about this, because we had a big talk about this, and I had a chance to spend time with my niece, and this kid, who was 12 years old, had no idea about the world, you know what I mean? She thought taxes were good things. And her dad told her, yeah, we got to pay more taxes. And I was like, no, that's bad. And then I started teaching her about, the 5 things that most people don't talk to their children about, like how money is created, land ownership and poverty, documentation with currency, policy change, and shifting ideas of land in school and public school, about the public schools. I was teaching her this stuff. I mean, maybe it wasn't the best thing, but, I feel somebody has to start teaching these kids something. I mean, it was an eye-opener. She couldn't swim, barely ride a bike. I mean, this is 12 years old, and they're not teaching these kids anything anymore in school.
It's sad. It's sad. It really is.
Sad. It was the most horrible thing I ever had to witness was watching my niece struggle to try to swim at 12 years old. I mean, I don't know what they're teaching them in their school, in these school systems, I mean, but what I'm talking about is I had to show her how taxes work. I had to show her how you have to produce things and everything else like that. She was totally fascinated. She said, well, no one taught me this in school. I was like, well, we were learning this stuff when we were in school. It's called civics class. I mean, I don't know if you had to take a civics class, but we were about 13, 14 years old. We had to take that course. And, it was like shocking that no one's talking to these kids anymore, is that everyone thinks somebody else is going to do it. And I'm like, no, we have to start doing it. People that are older, explain to them how the system works and how your vote counts and everything like that. But no one's doing it anymore.
Well, that's when we have to. Yeah, we got to step in, Rob, for sure. All right, let's go to Ken, Lower Borough. Hey, Kenny, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Rob. Hey, I did see something real quick about California. They were talking about the states that were above $4 a gallon in gas, and they had them marked in red on one of the maps. I think California and pretty much everybody on that coast is above $4 that I saw on TV. But anyway, you were talking about Tiger Woods being impaired, and I hate to say it, as old as I am, and you even referred to this a lot with alcohol. I used to have a teacher in my shop class would always say, every Friday, I don't care what you do, but do not drink and drive. Every Friday, drilled it into our heads. Every Friday. He wouldn't let us leave until he said it. But the difference between then and now is when I'm out in the cutting grass, I'm out in the public. I mean, cars are riding by me all the time, and I smell marijuana like crazy. So, I mean, that would have to be some type of an impairment, which not a lot of people are talking about. And you're talking other medications that he could have been on. And but yeah, you have to be careful. You can't be impaired when you're driving. A vehicle will kill you. It's not even yourself. If you kill yourself, I hate to say it's not as bad as if you kill somebody else. And that's the bad thing about that. But I did see yesterday on Fox, which Pennsylvania seems to be getting a black eye on a lot of these things. There's protesters in Philly. I mean, first of all, you have that DA that's anti-ICE out there. I mean, he's against everything there is that could slow crime down in Philadelphia. And then they had protesters out there cheering when our American soldiers were coming home in coffins. What is going on with that? Did you see that, Rod?
I have no idea.
They have a group out there in Philly.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, they have a group out there in Philly. They cheer when our American heroes come back in coffins. I mean, what is going on out in Philly right now at this point in time? And then I did see legislation. I don't know who it was. They're trying to repeal the gas tax for 60 days in Pennsylvania. So I don't know if that's picked up any boots or on the ground or anything. I'm hoping they do it. At least help the people of Pennsylvania with some of these high prices. Other than that, I did see something about something in the Hill District that they closed a grocery store over there, I believe, back in 2025. They poured tons of taxpayers' money into it, and they got no results. So population has to start coming up. They're saying it is, but I don't see it yet.
All right. Hey, Kenny, have a great day. Appreciate you, bud. 866-391-1020. Lots of calls early on. Keep them coming. We're in open talk until 7. Here's Cynthia in Florida. Good morning, Cynthia.
Good morning. Well, let me give you an update.
Okay.
People in Israel are protesting. They don't want to serve in the military.
Really?
The IDF said their military is collapsing.
Wow.
That was in Hayom, Hayom, and ARUTZ News several days ago. Ben-Gvir just had to pull a gun out on people who were trying to attack him because of the madness that Netanyahu has caused. And you just said he tried to, they bombed another civilian nuclear facility, and we're sending our soldiers over there? Yeah, it'll be over soon when they irradiate the region. And I want you to look at the people protesting for the government in Iran. Kids are trying to join the military. There are women in the street with automatic weapons. This is what was, and you heard about the base in Saudi Arabia being bombed yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm. I just mentioned that at the beginning of the show. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is not going to end well. And I saw Trump on television yesterday. Somebody needs to, I don't know what, the man said that the people in Iran wanted him to be the leader of Iran.
I missed that.
Oh.
He got to run this country. Forget about Iran.
Well, he's not doing that well either. And I don't care what people say. It's not happening.
You mean health-wise or job-wise?
Health and job. I mean, for him to come out and say something like that, demonstrably false. And Iran is making money hand over fist because they started the charge to let friendly boats through the Strait of Hormuz. And then I turn on Russia and says, hey, we will nuke Israel if they continue to attack Iran. Now, you know, things have drastically changed. But the people in Israel don't want to serve in the military anymore because they see the damage that they've done. They're fighting on 3 fronts. And the head of the IDF said the military is near collapse. They need to stop fighting. Stop starting the wars.
You mean, wait, Cynthia, hold on. So much information here. I got to find if this is fact or fiction. So the Israeli Defense Forces are on the verge of collapse because that's always been the number one point of, persuasion for everybody to believe in Israel because of the military. So are you saying their military is on the verge of collapse?
The head of the IDF said their military is on the verge of collapse. They can't continue to fight all these wars that they started. And they have less soldiers. I'll send you the article. Yeah, because, you said you didn't want to be inundated with stuff. I'll send you that.
Yeah, listen, it's been this last week unbelievable. Yeah, so I appreciate Cynthia. Listen, all I know, I still feel it's going to be over sooner than later. So what are you going to say if they do surrender? Is your thought process going to be the same?
Surrender.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not going to surrender. Nothing's going to change. They are not going to surrender. They now have 1 million people in their military. Before it was 600,000. Now it's 1 million. And when you have kids trying to join the military, like 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, can you imagine the trauma of our soldiers going over there and having to shoot 8 or 9? Well,
Marco Rubio said he doesn't see any boots on the ground. And I still, from all indications, even national media, which usually leans to the left, is saying that the Iranian people want us there. So let's just see what happens. So what do you think, folks? Do you think we have the capability to win this thing outright? Or do you think it's going to drag on? And do you believe that they won't surrender? Look, you heard Marco Rubio moments ago, CBS Radio News. If they have no Navy, Air Force, or the ability to launch any missiles, or they have no missiles, what chance do they have? And the reason they're opening up the Strait of Hormuz, because they know if they don't, the president's going to obliterate them. Let's just once and for all give the United States of America and our military a little credit here. They're actually finishing the job. It's only been a few weeks, and if this thing ends by within a month, the end of April, I think you've accomplished your mission. How many of you, and I still find it very hard to believe, and I'm not saying she's wrong, but the Israeli Defense Forces, their military is on the verge of collapse. That's the strongest thing they have going for them. I just have a hard time believing that. 866-391-1020. We got room for your call, and we'll get to it next on KDKA.
Don't know who to trust? Go with the sure thing. PJ Fitzpatrick has been your trusted roofer for 45 years. They've earned thousands of 5-star reviews and back all new roofs with a lifetime guarantee on materials and labor. The PJ Fitzpatrick team of experienced professionals install most roofs in just one day. Set up a free consultation this month to save thousands. Plus, they have a variety of financing packages that work with any budget. Don't wait. Visit trustpj.com today.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I own a coffee shop, and I wanted to label everything with our logo.
That's ambitious.
Cups, boxes, bags.
Ooh, that'll add up.
Not at all. Because right now, Staples prints custom labels for 30% off.
30% off? That's shockingly affordable branding.
Yep. Now our logo and URL are seen all over town.
Brand your business for less at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or in the app by 4/18 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Pittsburgh is on the clock. Our comprehensive draft coverage is powered by Bowser Chevrolet. It's more than just the players. It's the vibe of the city. Where to go? What to do? We have you covered. It's presented by Target Freight Management and brought to you by your local AAA travel office and by Groundworks, formerly Baker's Waterproofing. On the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
CBS News Brief. The House has passed its own bill to fund the Department of Homeland Security, rejecting the Senate's plan. This traveler has had it with the long TSA lines at airports.
It's an absolute nightmare. Never seen anything like this in my life.
At least 10 U.S. service members were injured in an Iranian missile and drone attack on an airbase in Saudi Arabia. During a speech in Miami, President Trump touted the military's efforts in Iran and Venezuela and said this.
Cuba's next, by the way, but pretend I didn't say that, please. Pretend I didn't say that. Please, 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 media, please disregard that statement. Thank you very much.
Tiger Woods has posted bail after his DUI arrest in Jupiter, Florida. Martin County Sheriff John Budenseek says the golf legend flipped his SUV on a residential street.
Had there been somebody moving in the opposite direction, we would not be having a conversation saying there was no injuries. This could have been a lot worse.
Woods passed a breathalyzer test but refused a urine test. CBS News Brief. I'm Michael Wallace.
She's back. Join Dr. Bridget Shufo at 9 this Sunday morning and see how her wellness and weight loss help you get rid of excess weight and, more importantly, keep it off with a healthy lifestyle. It's Dr. Shufo's Health and Wellness Show this Sunday at 9 a.m.
Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
For 50 years, Center for Victims has stood beside more than 1 million crime victims, providing supportive services and 24/7 crisis response across our community. Join them April 9th for their 50th anniversary gala, lighting candles in the darkness, an inspiring evening of hope, healing, and resilience. Pittsburgh Earth Day's Ecolution Fashion Gala returns this year in a stunning new home, Heinz Hall, April 20th. Presented by Huntington Bank. Experience pop couture, fashion, fame, and obsession. A bold, high-energy dance musical exploring art, identity, and life in the spotlight. Schley Deck and Fence Company. Call today for an estimate on your rotten, rusted, paint-chipping railings. Get your railings safe again by spring. Call 412-515-6575. Schley Deck and Fence. SchleyDeckCompany.com.
Details at KDKARadio.com.
Get connected. That's the Inside Connection this Saturday morning at 9 with your local Medicare experts from MediConnect. If you're turning 65, hear all the inside information available to seniors on the Inside Connection, presented by MediConnect. Medicare made simple.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Through the overnight hours, the sky will be mainly clear with the low around 27. Saturday, a breezy, chilly start to the weekend with some sun, high 44, but then warming up Sunday with sunshine and a few clouds, high near 60. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Brian Thompson, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, we'll be back on Monday. Stay warm, get through the weekend, and I'll catch you on Monday. Lots to talk about. 2 to 6 right here, KDKA.
All right, Colin, lots to talk about right now as well, too. Talking about Tiger Woods and, just so sad. I mean, it is, and thank goodness that nobody really got hurt, but my goodness gracious. I mean, when you're worth $1 billion, get somebody to drive you. I mean, I just don't understand. And are you starting to think like I am, and I'm seeing some of the biggest columnists in the country, and not all sports columnists, saying, look, you got to get help before it's too late. And, you have to really wonder, too, if he has been dealing with medication for as long as he has, it's not like you stop during a tournament. Now, this is all opinion and speculation. But maybe one of the reasons why he hasn't played very good is because he's been medicated. But the thing that just baffles my mind is how many more near misses are you going to have? And, he danced around it last time, and I get it. Nobody wants to admit that they're doing something that they shouldn't be. And when you have that competitive nature like he has, I mean, it's hard admitting that you're wrong because your whole life you've been driven to say you're right. Unbelievable. Now, back to the big story, the war in Iran, and it still is the big story. If it was such a bad thing, and it is, because people are dying, so that's bad enough, right? But why isn't that even with the price of a barrel of oil over $100 that our economy hasn't collapsed? Why is Wall Street still finding a way to get around it? Why is that? And find a way to rise above it. And honestly, what are you going to say if the president in our country gets an unconditional surrender and the people in Iran are cheering his name in the streets? I mean, what are you going to do? Are you still going to find something negative? And here's my question. Do you think it's more because it's President Trump that people are pushing back as opposed to the war itself? Do they just not want this man to succeed? And here's the other thing. Speaking of the president, no more King protest in Pittsburgh, across the country. Do you realize if this many people actually came out and voted, he wouldn't even be the president right now? I mean, thousands of people in our region alone. Don't you have anything better to do? I'm just saying, because it's not going to change things. How about putting that effort, my humble opinion, into promoting another candidate, learning about the issues, getting involved in government at any level, making a difference yourself? That's what really upsets me about this country. We have all of these people that are jumping on the bandwagon of negativity when they should be utilizing that energy to do something constructive with their lives. 866-391-1020. Here's Teddy in Mount Washington, or up on Mount Washington. Hey, Ted.
What's going on, Rob?
Saturday morning, and we're up and at it. How about you? So what are you going to do when the draft hits? Are you basically going to stay up on Mount Washington?
You're doggone right. If you talk about, what 400,000 people more?
Listen, I was looking at some of the street closures coming up. It's going to be hard to get around now, that little place that is downtown Pittsburgh.
Look, they're telling everybody, don't even drive. All right, and they're probably right. If you can catch Port Authority, good luck. If the amount of people they suspect show up to Pittsburgh, I mean, look, this is going to be like the almost Olympics. I don't know if the city's ready for it, the communities are ready for it, or the business are ready for it. But we're going to find out. This is a great test for Pittsburgh and its leadership in Allegheny County. Can we pull this off? If they can, they'll send a great message to a lot of people around the world.
You're right.
If they can't, it's going to make us look bad. So you only got one shot to make an impression. So this is what this is when he won it, and this is what people want in Pittsburgh. We're going to find out.
Well, what's funny is the fact that I never looked at it in the negative light, okay? Because I really believe in the city and I believe in the current administration. But if this thing goes in the wrong direction, that could not really go well. So let's hope that it goes well.
Oh yes. We need to, because Pittsburgh needs to get back on its feet. We need to be that city that was one time the best place to live. We need to get back to that quick. So I'm hoping. As far as Tiger Woods, hey, look, Rob, I have no sympathy for drunk drivers.
I know. I know. It's hard. It's hard. I know.
Once you get behind that wheel, that car becomes a weapon. Mothers against drunk driving. they show up to almost every courtroom when it comes to a drunk driver. And God bless them. She'll get more, a lot of support. Because when a drunk driver, male or female, gets behind that wheel and they're under influence and they kill somebody, they can take out entire families. So I don't care if you're a celebrity, whatever. You forget it. I hope they throw the book at Tiger Woods because this is a pattern. If it was one time, great. Okay, thank God you're alive. But Tiger Woods has been doing this for a long time. It's time for the judge. I hope he gets a real good judge to tell him, you know what, not just stop it. You're going to serve some time, buddy. He needs to. He needs to go to jail. I hate to say that, but for some people, they need to be accountable for their actions. Great golfer, but as far as a human being, forget it. You just can't do that.
Well, he hasn't been a great golfer for a long time. Long time.
About that, but I'm just saying, I'm not taking away from his legacy, but what he's doing is stupid. The man knows better. Could have killed somebody, not only himself.
I know. I agree.
I mean, if it wasn't a pattern, I could understand it. But Tiger Woods been getting away with a lot of stuff. Okay, he has, and no one's strong enough to say no. Well, I hope he has this come to Jesus moment to the point where you're behind our bars and you got time to think. He needs to go, because he's going to do this again, Rob. And he's going to either kill himself or kill anybody around him.
No, I don't think. Listen, I don't think, Teddy. I don't think he's going to do it again. He's not going to be driving for a long time. They're going to take his license for a long time.
Well, this guy's a billionaire. Usually, guys.
Listen, you're not going to get an argument from me. I totally agree with you.
Okay, I mean, I'm just saying that it's too much. As far as the president, I agree with you. Look, regardless of how you feel, this regime needs to go. The only thing my criticism of the president, he needs to be more focused on regime change. You got to get rid of this regime. My fear is that you pull out, and guess what? Another administration is going to do the same thing. And also, look, Rob, there's no way you get rid of the regime without ground troops. It's going to have to be ground troops.
Well, but now Marco Rubio, I thought so too, but Marco Rubio said they don't need him.
No, I don't believe what he's saying. Look, that's for public consumption. The reality on the ground, you're going to need ground troops just to open up the Strait of Hormuz. Okay? If you don't open that up for free flow of oil and everything else, ball game is over. That's why he's sending troops. And he does need to talk to Congress and prepare the people for a long conflict. I think it should be. You do it now, or I guarantee you.
Yeah, but what are they fighting with? They have nothing. What are they using to fight?
Well, look, the bottom line, Trump should never, to me, he telegraphs too much. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Even on social media. Stop talking. If you're going to do something, you do it. You take out the power plants. You do those things you need to do. Every time he talks or he's on social media, you're telling your enemy what you're going to do, and you're telling your enemy what you're not going to do. That's the dumbest thing a president should ever say. Never say anything like that. And never say, hey, it's going to be, what time, we're going to end the conflict. You're dictating, you're not dictating, you tell your enemy what you're going to do. And Iran right now is dictating. They're going to say, hey, we're going to open up the Strait of Hormuz, we're going to close it. They're the ones who say, hey, regardless if you're here or not, we're still going to attack your allies. You can't have that going on. And with Rubio, he should have never said that. Absolutely never said. I just think it's dumb the way they're going at it. The United States is going to need help. And to me, like I said before, she'll get a coalition. She'll make the argument, why are you doing this? She'll stick to regime change. Because that's what Israel's doing. You don't have to question what those guys are doing. Netanyahu is absolutely right. You got to get rid of this regime, or you're going to have a stronger Hamas and Hezbollah. Now you got the Houthis joining. So Israel is the only democracy in that region. They go down, that whole Middle East is going to go down. And I'll be honest, I have my criticism with Israel too, the government. But for what they're doing, I do not blame them. After October 7th, you have no other choice but to get rid of this regime. You can't back down. And we need to do the same thing, because if we leave that region and that regime is still intact, Rob, I am telling you, it's going to destabilize the Middle East forever. They're not going to stop.
So you're saying they're going to get help from outside sources because they got nothing left.
Wow. You just had a report that these guys launched missiles and also drones, injuring 10 U.S. soldiers in Saudi Arabia.
But when you think about the escalation of what we've done to them, it's minuscule. I'm not saying that it's good, bad, or indifferent, but it's minuscule. They're on fumes right now. I mean, I don't see it. I don't see it, Teddy. I got to get to a break. Thanks. So do you think that we are going to be in this for a long time? I mean, is that what you're really telling me today? I mean, I don't see it. 866-391-1020. We'll be back.
We're only 28 days until the draft. Everything you need to know surrounding the draft is right here. It's brought to you by Bill Few Associates Wealth Management, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA. News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. Tiger Woods charged with driving under the influence after he rolled his SUV in a crash in Florida. No one was hurt. Elsewhere, yesterday, college basketball, Duke outlasted St. John's 80-75. They're headed to the Elite Eight, as is UConn, as they defeated Michigan State 67-63. Today, Iowa, Illinois, and Arizona and Purdue. Bucks a little after 4 at Citi Field in New York. You can hear it today against the Mets on 93.7 The Fan. Pens in Dallas, they dropped the puck at 5 in the Houston Open through 2 rounds. Your leader is Gary Woodland. He's a 13 under, good for a 3-shot lead. And the Riverhounds have a match tonight against Jacksonville. More sports at 937thefan.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SNAP to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SNAP for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SNAP for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Pittsburgh's 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
I don't know. I just sometimes I wonder where the heart of America is. Just remove President Trump from the equation. It's our military. It's a war. It should be military first. Freedom for the Iranian people foremost in our mind. Forget about the president. I mean, look at the big picture. 866-391-1020. Here's Bishop in Denora. Good morning, Bish.
Well, how are you doing, Mr. President? You have to put the Trump in the equation because he sanctioned the offensive as far as Iran is concerned. Now, listen, I'll say again, all of us, well, I'll say me, concerned about our troops. I told you before, I come from a military background, and we don't want troops to be in harm's way. We don't want them getting hurt. We don't want them getting killed. Now, you see what happened yesterday, the attack in Saudi Arabia base where Americans, we don't know the full report yet, but they said there's dozens that have gotten injured. I believe that Russia is also, and again, I don't know why nobody wants to touch or address the Russians. The Russia is aiding technology to the Iranians as far as strike precision. Now, my thing is this. The worst mistake Americans can do is go in there with ground troops. You're going to have a lot of young men and women coming back home, and it ain't going to be too good. And the ones who's calling in, including me, I don't see them committing none of their loved ones or sons or daughters to go over there and fight this war that shouldn't be. It just shouldn't be. Now listen, I've always spoke well of Israel. But this is one that they, there needs to be peace in that region. And they need to leave the people that's in that West Bank that's not under no Hamas rule. Leave them people alone and let them live in peace. Now, I don't know if you heard they've been, hey, I always will support Israel when it's right. All right? Now, but I'm saying to you, Mr. Pratt, that we have to do something. So now you got about a third of the U.S. Military over in the Gulf. Do you know that? And
yes.
To threaten to throw those young men and women into harm's way to perhaps coming back is not going to be a good fate. Have you noticed this? If you look at history, in recent history, when you go on foreign turf, whether it be Afghanistan, when we went into Vietnam, Korea, it hasn't voted well for us because we keep going on these countries that we have limited knowledge. Now, if you remember, when MacArthur was told not to go past the 38th parallel, what did he do? He got his ego kicked in. He did it anyway, and what happened? The Chinese came in and aided which is now South Korea, and pushed us back. I'm saying to America, we got to stop going into these countries that we're not familiar with the layout of the land, and that's where it happens. Listen, Mr. Pratt, we should have clobbered on paper Afghanistan. A place back in time, the Flintstone age, but we couldn't do it because we don't know their guerrilla warfare. That's all I'm saying. I want you to have a good morning.
All right, thank you. Let's go to Gary in Hampton. Hey, Gary, how are you? Gary. All right, let's check, see if he's still there. Let's go to the other Gary. Here's Gary in Georgia. Hey, Gary.
Good morning, Rob. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How about you?
Oh, I'm better.
Good.
I'm better. I'm better. Good. I was not. Yeah. I just want to just say this really quickly. I hope you got some rest. I didn't text you all night long. I never once.
That's okay. No, let's don't go over that. That's fine.
I know. I'm not going to go.
I don't want to waste time talking about that. Go ahead.
All right. No, either do I. It's about the war. Does it feel like it's getting better, Rob?
I think it is. I mean, I think we're basically doing all of the objectives that we're looking to do, and I think it's going to be over soon. And look, the Iranian people are wanting their freedom. That's why we're there.
Let me ask you this. If you're president, see, I kind of disagree with you up to a point about President Trump, about his responsibility. It's not about Trump. It actually is because, in my opinion, in this aspect, we're supposed to be the leader of the free world, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What he does sends a message to the world, not only to us, it sends a message to the world. So, I'm saying there's a responsibility of him about that, and I don't think is really being met in my humble opinion. And I'll just close in saying this, like I said the other day, that to me, it's a lot easier to start a war and a conflict than to end it.
Yes, definitely.
So, boy, I hope I'm praying you're right. I don't want to see anybody fail, no matter how much I disagree with the President of the United States, because if he falls on his rear end about this, it's not good for America in the end. I mean, in the end, no matter how we feel about this guy. So that's where I stand.
All right, my man. You be good. Have a great weekend, okay?
All right, thanks a lot. I'm going to the races.
Oh, there you go. Sounds good. All right, listen, I'm just going to tell you this. It will end good if we stay out of the way of our military. If people in Washington simply stay out of the way of our military. This is what frustrates me. And this is why you should all be thinking as I'm thinking. Do you realize how many times we have let our military go into harm's way? And because, once again, we are putting someone in the middle of a political situation, just as we are with these TSA workers, as we have with the middle class for many years, as we have during the pandemic when it came to getting people money and getting businesses money. We're controlling the purse strings. People in Washington who should be doing things like creating new legislation, executive orders, making it better for the American people, creating jobs, creating a better economy. What do? They use things from the real world, headlines that you and I talk about, whether it be local, national, international, and they put it into a filibuster, and it becomes an argument. It becomes a discussion that ends up on the House floor, the floor of the Senate, and it turns into battling and bickering and jockeying for political power and positioning. And we did it with Korea. We did it with Vietnam, horribly in Vietnam. And we did it for 20 years in Afghanistan, not to mention Desert Storm, Persian Gulf, Iraq, Saddam Hussein, all of these things. We have put Noriega even. We have put our country and our military in a position to be a political pawn. It has to stop. It has to stop. We owe the men and women of our military a better fate. And if this president gets the chance to do what the objective is, and everybody in Washington stays out of the way and supports the commander-in-chief, as does the public, who is speaking about things that many of us, including me, we don't know all the facts. That's why we should state what we read, what we hear, and what the president says, Pete Hegseth says, Marco Rubio says, and then let history unfold where it's going to go. We need this win, not just for us, but for the people of Iran and for the free world to stay safe and to stay free and to stop the madness that this regime has been a part of since 1979. As I have said, the buck stops here. We can win this war if we simply let them fight the war. We'll be back.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Pittsburgh Mayor Corey O'Connor, very atypical with the NFL draft and all the things that are going on.
We're all excited. You know, it's coming fast. But we also want Pittsburghers, and I say this wherever I go, this is also your city, this is your draft. We're going to have hundreds of thousands of people coming from across the country, but we want Pittsburghers to be ambassadors.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Ms. Fernandez, what are those tiny things?
Those are what we call amoebas. You can only see them through a microscope.
Wow.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, there's a funding crisis in public schools. Millions of kids go to schools that don't have funding for books, computers, and so much more just because of where they live. You can help change that. Donors Choose is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. You choose which supplies to support. You could provide first graders with pencils and paper, or other students with their first chapter books, help a music class get a guitar.
You could even supply a classroom like mine with a science project. But what you're really giving is the moment that sparks a brighter tomorrow.
To learn more, please visit DonorsChoose.org. That's DonorsChoose.org. Choose students. Shape the future.
Being diagnosed with leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, or one of over 100 other types of blood cancer makes people want more time to do the things they love. We are Blood Cancer United. We do the most for more people with blood cancer. Join us at bloodcancerunited.org.
At a time when children are in crisis, the Kids Mental Health Foundation envisions a future where mental health is a vital part of growing up, and support starts with all of us. At home, at school, at practice, everywhere kids are.
If you're at school having a bad day, you just don't want to do anything.
I just get these thoughts like, do better. All my little emotions in my head is just running crazy. I don't know what to do.
As a teacher or coach, do you ever feel overwhelmed?
He's just in tears in the huddle. I was like, what's wrong? And he's just like, I'm just so frustrated, and I didn't know what to do.
None of my undergraduate studies talked about mental health.
Teachers need tons of help. The Kids Mental Health Foundation is the leading organization promoting mental health for children in the U.S. and has free tools and information developed by experts.
Having those resources is the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
Check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 30 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 6 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. A candlelight vigil was held Friday evening to remember 4 Yock Senior High School students who died in a crash last weekend. The vigil was held at Crabapple Lake Community Park in Sewickley Township, Westmoreland County. 4 students who died were 15-year-old Felicity Martini, 18-year-old Rocco Zugai, 15-year-old Brady Hunker, and 16-year-old Kylie Korber.
It was a beautiful service. These kids and everything to our community. It is so hard because there's so much love here, but there's so much pain. And just we all got to be there for each other.
Zugai was driving a Kia Forte when it crashed into a tree on Durr Road. Preliminary investigation showed speed likely was a factor in the crash, and police said that autopsies and toxicology tests are pending. 2 people were taken to a local hospital from a fire in Fayette County. That fire occurred around 5 o'clock Friday afternoon in the 200 block of Shipley Lane. That's in Springfield Township. Right now it's unclear what started the fire, unclear the conditions of the 2 people who were taken to the hospital. An Ohio man was charged with carrying a firearm without a license after the gun was discovered at the security checkpoint at Pittsburgh International Airport. 47-year-old Franklin Landis of Poland, Ohio, near Youngstown, had a gun inside his carry-on bag. It was discovered by TSA officers Friday morning around 5:30. He did not have a valid concealed carry permit. President Trump has signed the presidential memorandum to restore pay for TSA officers and employees who've continued to work without a paycheck during the DHS funding lapse. Meanwhile, in a 213 to 203 vote, the House passed legislation that will fund all of DHS for 60 days. Once the House adopted the rule for the bill, it was automatically deemed as passed. Here's Clarissa Lawson.
The Republican-led House voted late Friday to fund the Department of Homeland Security, including Immigration and Customs Enforcement at current levels for 60 days.
But the message from House Republicans is clear. We will not and cannot fund only half of our Homeland Security.
We could end this shutdown for good tonight if Speaker Johnson would just put it on the floor.
KDKA Radio News Time, 6:03. We have the AccuWeather forecast next.
With Aetna, I always get a quick answer, and I don't have to search on the internet. They go above and beyond to help me with whatever I need.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctor's offices when requested. We show up with access to convenient care options. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell. Licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Pros, just because something on the job runs out doesn't mean you have to. Order it on the Lowe's app.
My Lowe's Pro Rewards members get free same-day delivery on eligible orders over $25. Get the fasteners, hardware, or tools you need to keep the job moving. Order by 2 p.m. and get eligible in-stock items delivered right to your job site by 8 p.m. Members get more at Lowe's. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Subject to availability. Restrictions and terms at Lowe's.com/shipping terms. Subject to change.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor.